I did a little video about all this stuff here in the background, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about this here. That I think it's Prospector Gold and Gem. I bought these here at my local coin shop, or one of them. I have a few of them I use, but I figured I'd tell y'all a little more, and I did a little bit in that video, but we'll go in a little more detail. Interesting little story about kind of how I did this today. I wound up, I had bought a 1 ouncer of this. Y'all probably seen, I like that size. Remind me of dentine. About half this size, about that thick, kind of long and skinny, like that old dentine gum. So I went back in. I said, I want to buy me some more of them 1 ouncers. Well, he's out of them 1 ouncers, so all he had is a few little 2 ounce and then 5 ounce. I wanted a small one like this, so said, well, I'll take them 2 ouncers there. And then this is one he had made up for his own shop. And I think it's Folsom coin and bullion, something like that. It's kind of limited mintage. Of course, I know that's probably just a kind of gimmick, but it's number 4, I don't know, 5 or 10. He ain't made many. He said old gal made it for him. But anyway, back to this in here. I asked him a few more questions about it. He said it feller from Colorado made them, or the company. And I said, well, why does it say Nevada? What's that? Not their mint mark or what? And he said, well, they do them coin shows a lot in Vegas, so I reckon the one that had Nevada on it kind of sells better there, so they did a Nevada. And so that's the story why it said Nevada, even though the company out of Colorado. And he said he talked to him about it. He said he liked the little waves. He requested one with little waves like that, whatever you call it, ripples. He liked that. And he said, how y'all do that? And he said, well, old gal pouring the stuff, she just shake the table a little bit while she pouring the silver, make them waves like that. So there's your little tip, maybe if you're pouring silver. I don't know if that really worked, but makes sense to me. Make a little waves about it. But anyway, I picked up these 3, and I tell you a story, and I ain't telling this to toot my own horn or nothing. In fact, I'd half tempted to take the deal, but you know, he said, well, that'd be $40 an ounce, cause that premium hand poured. And I ain't got a problem, you know, with that. It is what it is. I knew it ain't, you know, this here's premium too. I know that hand poured is a little more premium. I wanted them, and I said, well, give me them 2 ouncers there, 2 of them 2 ouncers. And then I said, well, you go ahead and give me that little 1 ouncer of yours. I'll take it, because I wanted little small stuff. I didn't want the 5 ounce bar of the hand poured. I wanted my dentine, my little bubble gum silver. So I said, well, figure it up, I'll pay you for it. And that's what I bought right there from him. I'd already bought something last week from him, bought some of that stuff y'all seen, the little 1 ounce and a couple little 5 ounce Engelhardt and a couple bars. So I've been dealing with him, and he been fair with me. He ain't the cheapest, but he fair, I feel like. So he figured this here stuff up, and he told me, well, that'd be I think he said, let me get it right here, like 120 or let me think on it, what he said, because I figured out when I left what the problem was. You might have already figured it out. Like I said, he said it's gonna be $40 an ounce. Yeah, he told me it's 120, so I had some 50, I gave him 150, and he gave me $30 change back. I went on out, had other things to do, and I got to figuring on my calculator how much, because he said this in here originally be $50. And he said, well, I give you that, and since you're buying them all, I give you that and for a deal. I give it to you same price. So I said, well, throw her in there. And that's when, calculator up, and I paid him. Of course, maybe if I was a little bit smarter with it, I'd have come up with it already that's a little bit low for 5 ounces, right? At $40 an ounce. But I got to calculating my cost after that, and what kind of discount did he give me? What did I actually pay per ounce? And I said, I calculated, you can do it yourself, but I'll do it right here on my little calculator. So I said 120 divide by 5, well, $24 an ounce. I said, that's a good deal, right? I said, Now he said that's premium silver, but at $24 an ounce, and I know silver come down, but it's still over 29. Under spot silver, that sounds real good, right? But I got to thinking about it. I said, he made some sort of calculation error, something. I figured out, I got to thinking, what did he do? Am I right? Did I pay 120, and what's going on here? I figured, what if we take 3 at 40? There we go. 3 times 40. What he did, he didn't, because I was initially wanting 1 ounces, but he didn't have the 1 ounces, so he threw these 2 ounces, or I asked for the 2 ounces. That's the next size up that he had. So I said, give me 2 of them. He still got 1. I started by all 3 of these 2 ounces. Probably shoulda. I don't know. Then again, probably shouldn't. It's high premium stuff, right? But point being is he calculated up on 1 ounce each. He said, well, you got 3 bars. He must have just kind of not thinking about it, because I was talking about getting them 1 ounce bars, and then when we wound up with the 2 ounce, he just counted at it 3 1 ounce bars. I was already down the road, and wife was hungry. We got a little Chick-fil-A, some of them waffle fries, and that there fancy mustard they like to put on it. So we eating our mustard and French fried taters, and I was thinking about it. I said, well, that's a good price, but he didn't mean to do that, and I feel like I'd be kind of robbing the feller if I took that kind of deal off of him. So, conscience bothering me or whatever, I want to sleep pretty good at night, and I decided I'd go back by there. It's on the way. I just swung in there, and I said, hey feller, I think I owed you some money. And it's a different feller in there at that time. It's his partner. He done went to lunch himself, and so I said, I think I owed you money. And he said, really? You owe me money? So I told him what it is, and I said, yeah, you charged me for 3 ounces of silver, and I got 5. I paid him his $80 and walked out, and the other feller showed up. He hollered out. He said, hey, that feller, you charged him for 3 ounces, and he come back to pay for his other 2. So anyway, that's that, and I paid for my silver, and I was on my way. But that's the end of the story, really. And if you was expecting something, some sort of amazing thing or something, well, I don't know. hate to disappoint you. He didn't, I mean, I'd been glad he would say, oh, keep your money. But I wasn't expecting that. No, he's in it for business, and he probably spent more than he charged me originally on that there stuff. So I don't blame him for taking his money. He needed to make a profit, and I want him to stay in business too. He charged me what he felt is fair, and I paid it. So anyway, that's a little story about that. I figured a little history, a little bit of that prospector gold and gem. I ain't seen these on their website. They're other style. They selling them for like 37. So maybe I'm overpaying at 40 anyway, but sure would have been a good deal at 27, huh? But no, I figure you ought to do what you'd want the other feller to do if it's you. And if he made a mistake, overcharge me, I'd be back for my money. So I figure I better go back and pay him what I owed him. Otherwise, kind of like stealing from him. So anyway, that's a little video, a little bit story on what them there silver bars are about. There's a few other, I might tell a little story on some of this other stuff. That's part of the fun of picking something up at your local coin shop. It ain't like online. You can talk to the feller, you can get a little information, a little bit more personal. So I kind of like that part. So what do y'all think? You like to keep a good relationship with your local coin guy? You know, how you feel? What would you do in that case? Well, that's something to ponder. All right then. Bye-bye.